I know. Yes, it really is me. Good evening, everyone. So 2 giant pandas are heading to the U.S. from China. One is headed to the zoo, and one's going to RFK Jr.'s Memorial Day barbecue. In their much-anticipated MMA comeback battle, it took Ronda Rousey just 17 seconds to defeat Gina Carano. The last women's fight to end that quickly was between Michelle and Barack. I don't get it. Must be a typo. Congressional leaders announced the formation of a sexual misconduct task force following the resignation of Eric Swalwell. And they've already found one man to pour through all the dick pics. He volunteered. Good for him. Facebook's parent company will email workers at 4 a.m. Wednesday to let them know that they're being laid off. It's weird, right? When I fire my employees at 4 a.m., I just roll over and wake them up. Get out of bed, Brit.
I don't work for him.
Yes. All right. A drip painting by the abstract expressionist Jackson Pollock sold for $181.2 million. Meanwhile, a drip painting by Hunter Biden was treated with penicillin. Ran out of brushes. Astronomers discovered an asteroid that barely missed Earth and are calling it 2026 JH2. If it had hit Earth, it would have been called According to a new study, sexual arousal causes people to overestimate a partner's interest. And according to an old study, who cares? Am I right, huh? An invasive species known as the Asian jumping worm is now on a path to wreck the soil in 38 states. Now, I'm not sure why they call it Asian, being that it can grow 6 inches.
Racist would say.
Big Asian contingency here tonight?
And finally, scientists have come up with an oral spray to cure nasty breath in canines. The only problem is veterinarians can't tell which side of Joy Behar to spray it in. All right. So Stephen Colbert's last show will be Thursday night. I hear they're going to convert the Ed Sullivan Theater into something more cheerful, like a slaughterhouse. Taking over his time slot, Byron Allen and his long-running show, Comics Unleashed, which features Allen and 4 comics who pull material from their stand-up routines. But Allen noted that, unlike Colbert, he won't touch politics at all.
A lot of eyes are going to be on your programming to see, well, what are the political leanings? What can they read into it?
What I'm doing with Comics Unleashed, we don't talk about politics. We don't talk about anything that's topical. We don't talk about anything, we don't do anything that's racist or sexist or anti-Semitic or homophobic. Just be funny and don't offend. I don't care who you vote for. I don't care. I'm here to make people laugh. You're going to vote who you're going to vote for no matter what I say. It doesn't matter. It's not my business. Not my business. Do what you do. So I'm here to make you laugh.
Now that sounds nice. Just be funny and don't offend. But I don't know. That sounds like someone saying, take up boxing, but don't try to hit anyone. Or a hooker saying, she just wants to hold hands. Now I get what CBS and Allen are trying to do. Colbert took a long-running institution and destroyed it with his own personal politics. It's the most selfish thing you can do. He's like a tenant who rents a room and decides to let Jerry Nadler use the toilet. Now no one else can live in it. So that's how you end up with Byron Allen, who actually pays CBS for the airtime and sells the commercials himself. Wish I'd thought of that. I could have squeezed Mike Huckabee for another case of Relaxium. But for CBS, it's much cheaper than producing Colbert's show, which lost more money than the Brit Hume rap album.
I loved that one.
So avoiding politics makes sense. Since the news cycle quickly gets dated anyway, and since Allen's show isn't live, you don't want to be a comic asking, hey, what's the deal with the Teapot Dome scandal? Of course, the main issue with Colbert and his ilk is that they were kiss asses who weren't even trying to be funny. At least Allen's main mission is laughs. Still, saying be funny but don't offend feels weird. Why can't it be both? It's not like a child telling her father, when I grow up, I want to be a Democrat. Sorry, kid, you can't be both. See, every joke is going to offend someone. If there's no risk, why bother? It's why I hate roasts. Where's the risk when the stage is already set for offensive insults? It's more fun to roast someone in a non-roast setting. It's why I always share my best zingers during my charity work at St. Jude's Hospital. Truth is, no matter what, someone will always be offended. Like if I make fun of soccer, somebody will always say, hey, my dad's gay.
I'm offended now.
Plus, audiences can tell when a comic is trying to be safe. It's when they choose easy targets, like Colbert always did. He and his imitators avoided offending those in power because they were on the same team. America endured 4 years of Mr. Magoo stumbling around the Oval Office, backed by a wine-soaked babbler. Plus, he had a first son filming himself with crack whores, loose bags of cocaine, and dogs biting Secret Service agents. The Bidens were an embarrassment of riches. But from the other late-night shows, not a peep. Not once did Colbert see absurdity in this. So if you think Allen is being safe, no. Colbert was way worse. He did nothing but safe comedy, ridiculing the approved targets his team hated, and then stuck his tongue firmly up the asses of politicians he supported. Think about it. How was he able to last this long and lose millions every year? Because he did what he was told, which makes the idea that he's leaving the job as some sort of risk-taking comic the biggest joke of all. Let's welcome tonight's guest. As long as he's here, he can't write another book. Co-host of Fox and Friends and host of One Nation, Brian Kilmeade. She's so conservative, she thinks the Statue of Liberty should cover up. Fox News political analyst Lisa Booth. In high school, he was voted, why is this guy 40? Host of the Jim Norton Can't Save You podcast, Jim Norton. And look for his new coffee table book on headlocks. Former NWA World Champion and host of the Planet Tired podcast, Cyrus. Brian, are you aware of Byron Allen? Are you a fan?
Yeah.
He's been around almost as long as you have. He's obviously way more accomplished, wealthier, and more successful than you.
Right.
But you must have crossed paths.
I've never met him, but I mean, he's one of the richest guys in the country. He's bought a whole bunch of stations.
He bought the Weather Channel.
That's
so he must know where the wind blows.
Absolutely.
Book me, Byron. Go ahead.
Right. So is that my time?
Yes.
Okay. So, and I prepared all this.
Yes.
All right. So a couple of things. You're on point with your monologue because he actually said in one of his last interviews, I didn't want to do so much politics, but my producer told me to, that's why people are tuning in. Now, maybe they were tuning in for the politics. Like Carson used to open up and insult Republicans and Democrats. That was the key. Made fun of Joe Biden and Ronald Reagan when Joe Biden was like a rookie senator. That was the key. I looked at the ratings. Why is he being canceled? It's not because of Trump. They want to blame Trump. Carson had 12 million nightly viewers. Leno had 4. Letterman had 3. Colbert had 2. So, and you watch this type of decline. You, by the way, are right at Letterman. Mm-hmm. So you watch this type of decline. Of course, they had to make a move. So something Byron Allen said is so weird. He's going to actually tell his comics to leave all this stuff behind, all politics. To me, it's a waste of time. It's impossible to confer. He also goes on to say, I want to be like Norman Lear, lead by example. Norman Lear had All in the Family and the Jeffersons. Mm-hmm. We couldn't, those shows were hysterical, but they don't run today because they were insulting people in some way, shape, or form, and they were stereotypes, which made people laugh.
Yeah, you love stereotypes.
I wouldn't say
You love laughing.
they're easy for me to figure out.
Well, you're a racist. But no, it's Byron Allen, Jim. He says there's going to be no racism, sexism, anti-Semitism, or homophobia. That's your whole act.
I know, and things I also say, like the audience will laugh, and I'll go, no, all kidding aside.
Yes.
I double down on it. Look, I don't think you should avoid politics or obsess over them. Like, just whatever it takes somebody to be, whatever's natural for somebody to be funny is what they should do. The problem was the opinions become so predictable,
right?
And that's what's boring to me. I don't mind a mean political comic, but if every single subject, if I know exactly what your take is going to be, I find you tedious, and I think you're fake brave. You're one of these people that thinks you're speaking truth to power, but you're really getting a round of applause for people who already agree with you. So I just find it a little bit annoying. But then again, I'd love to do Byron Allen's show.
Yes.
Unless it's on at the same time as this show.
Yeah, that's right.
It's
our direct competition. So if you're on his show, you're dead to me. I will write you off the way Carson did with Jackie.
Oh, Jackie Mason?
Jackie Mason.
That was Ed Sullivan.
Oh, never mind. Oh, well, I feel stupid now. Lisa,
Yeah?
When you see what's going on, do you think David Letterman is spinning in his grave?
I don't know, but this just isn't he still alive?
Yes.
Okay. I'm glad I picked up on it. It took me a second, but I got there.
He doesn't look alive, but he's.
Well, it sounds so safe, and safe is boring, unless it's in dating, and it's probably a good thing. But when I watched the commercial today, I thought to myself, where did CBS get the idea of a comedian surrounded by 4 people talking about the issues of the day? Yeah. Kind of seems like your show.
It does, in a way. It doesn't. It's an old framework. Remember, rough crowd, but they're doing it in that period, which means that that's what they're going for.
Yeah, but it looks so similar that I thought to myself, did you spend a week at the beach somewhere? Like, when did he turn into a black man, you know?
Yes. It's that simple, Tyrus.
But like...
Can you unturn? I got some tax bills coming up.
Tyrus, you've been inside for a long time, and you're still black.
Hey, I keep mixing the chemicals, and I get weird. I don't know why we keep calling him a comedian. He pays for his airtime. This is like a rich guy starting a semi-pro basketball team, and he's the only guy who can score. Like, we're all sitting here being polite just because he's a brother. His shows are terrible. No one has ever, if the only reason why you watched his show is you had 2 channels left because you forgot to pay the cable bill. Even the fish on the show are jumping out in the back. They can't take it. These comedians that he has on, comedian says whom? There's never been a take in the day of clips on Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, MySpace. This never had one clip on there.
Wait.
He's famous. He's famous for one thing. This is what he does. He comes on, hi, welcome to this. And you're like, it's too late. Time to go to bed. That's what you know. He's an alarm clock to go to bed.
Yes. Wait. You do know that Joe DeVito was just on.
Again. We love Joe.
Yes.
But it's not that bad, Joe. Apologize to Greg. They'll let you come back on. I hate to see good, talented people slumming.
Yeah.
This CBS is tapped out. They've given up. They got their ass kicked by this show, who is in 35 million less homes a night. Let's just be real.
Yeah.
So they said, hey, the guy who's paying it, we'll waive half his fee and then let him run the time slot so they don't have to do anything. He does his own guests. He does his own thing. No. You're not allowed to talk.
Why?
Because once again, I let it slide because it's the first say, Archie Bunker and the Jeffersons are still on TV. Who writes your notes?
No.
Who writes your notes?
You can't get that
watch
on
all the
TV.
time.
On what?
UTV. Check it out. Nickelodeon Night, ever hear it? It's on more than Kilmeade's Nation.
Right. There should be a Kilmeade's Nation. You mean Fox Nation? What made America great?
No one's on TV more than Brian Kilmeade.
Yeah, that's true.
Be sure to like and subscribe for all the Fox News latest on YouTube and catch full shows streaming now on Fox One.